All right. So you have your story, and it's a decent story. You got some good things happening. The one thing that kind of makes your story not less interesting, but just really makes it a little bit more confusing, and I think it makes it harder for you to edit, is you don't have any dialogue. You don't have people saying things. You kind of do, but not really. Here is an example. This sentence right here. All right. I was in there for a while reading, and my sister came in and asked me what I was doing. Now, instead of telling us what she asked you, show us. So what I mean by that is I was in there for a while reading, and my sister came in. And now we're going to just set this down here for now to separate it. What did she say to you? What exact words did she use?
She said, she asked me if she could listen.
Nope, what exact words would she have used? So you're telling me what she said?
Can I listen to you read?
All right. And she asked, right?
Yes.
So there we go. Now, actually, before she asked that, what does it say?
She asked me what I was doing.
Yep.
And I told her I was reading.
Okay, so now let's turn this into quotation marks. Those are important.
Yes.
What are you doing? That's what you said, she said, right?
Yes.
All right. Then what did you say?
I said that I was reading a book.
So give me the exact words.
I am reading a book.
All right. So, and let me get that right. What would you say? I am reading a book. I said, I replied, I answered. What words would you use?
I'm reading a book, I said.
All right. So, right here, first of all, when you're using quotes, when you're actually saying what the person said, you don't say, she asked me what I was doing. Right? You actually give the exact words. Your sister would have said, what are you doing? Right? Then you would reply, I am reading a book. And can I listen to you read? She asked. Now, I'm not going to get into this right away, because we're having you practice. You're not going to want to keep going back, she asked, I said, she asked, I said, she asked, I said. Right? And I'll actually have you read a book and take a look at an example on a page of how professional authors do it. So while you're practicing this, I'm going to have you see what some other people do. All right. Now, notice the things that I did. I modeled some things for you. 1, quotation marks. Go before and after whatever is being spoken.
So it's kind of like a question, but if the other person's saying it, then you put quotation marks.
Exactly. So when your sister asked that question, what are you doing? You would put quotation marks around exactly what she said. Then you don't put the quotation marks around you telling us that's what she asked, all right? She asked. Notice also the question mark here. All right? This question mark is inside the quotation mark because this is actually what your sister asked. That's what she said. This period still goes at the end, and this does not get capitalized because this is technically all one sentence. Notice here, I put a comma and not a period. The reason I put a comma and not a period is because that's the rule for period use.
You pause and you're not done yet.
Well, but also it's not, the way that it works, you don't put that period there, all right? And then we go back to the question mark. So what I'm going to do is go grab a book, you and I are going to take a look at it, and we're going to kind of explore some of the ways that the author writes things. So let's grab... Yep. So looking at James and the Giant Peach, you see where it says, poor fellow, comma, the centipede, and then we can keep going with it, but that's where it starts. Right. Now the centipede said whispering, or the centipede whispered. Right. Again, comma goes here because normally we would put a period here. That would be the end of the sentence. But because it's a part of a quotation, you put a comma there and the period there. The only time you would put that in there, the ending punctuation inside, is if there's a question mark or like what you see here. What do you see there?
I am a pest.
And how does that end? What's the exclamation part? Exclamation point.
Excitement.
So, sorry, that's right. Yes, the exclamation point. I kind of gave you the answer there, didn't I? I am a pest. And then what does it say? The centipede announced. All right. It actually is a great book. So in the examples, as you see here, when it's a question being asked by somebody, you put the question mark. When it's something exciting or there's excitement to it, or you're supposed to read with a lot of emotion, you do put the exclamation point in there. But when it's a period, you put a comma instead of the period, right? Unless it's at the end of the sentence. So if you said, instead of saying the centipede whispered, if you started, or ending with that, if you started with this, all right? So if you start with that, then you would end it with the,
So you can switch it around.
you would switch it around, exactly. All right? So remember, if it ends in a period, it's a comma there. If it ends in a question, if it's a question, it gets a question mark. If it's something you're supposed to be excited by, then you're going to put the exclamation point. Okay? And remember also, you actually put the exact words that the person says. You don't put, she asked what I was doing, she asked. All right? You put the exact words that the person would say. Your sister would actually use those words. All right? So I want you to go through the rest of your piece and look for other areas that you have somebody speaking and turn it into this. Oh, the other piece that's very important that I almost forgot. When somebody's speaking, it gets to be a new paragraph. Right?
Actually, I was working on that. So you like space 5. Well, if it's a paragraph from the beginning, space
yes.
5 and then
A tab, yes. But what I mean by new paragraph to start with is press enter. Because as you can see here, I am a pest. Every time somebody says something new, in James and the Giant Peach, every time somebody says something new, it's a new paragraph. And yes, creating a paragraph means you press tab, which is a little bit tricky because on here I believe pressing tab doesn't get you what you want. So you actually have to tab over or space over 5 times.
yeah.
All right?